Good morning, Dr. Rory Stern.
Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Tellman?
It's time to get shit done.
It is indeed.
Time to get shit done. So Eric's the younger brother of my housemate in college, Chris Oliver. And Eric has just embarked on a secret mission for a surprise party for said brother. And so Eric is now on the West Coast in a shared house with his family, and so it's 6 a.m. for him, and he's not going to be able to come on and get shit done for show for a few days. And I believe he's then going back to Hawaii to his farm for a period of time. So he's going to be 6 hours different. So I don't know if we're going to have to change up our co-host situation or if we're going to end up changing the time of the broadcast. I don't know what's going to happen, but one way or the other, changes in the air. It's time to get shit done. And I put out I didn't really plan ahead for this. I figured I'd figure it out last minute, and I put out a couple posts on Facebook this morning. Crickets. Nobody was willing to jump on. I reached out to a few more ADD, spontaneously oriented friends, and no beans. So I was like, I'll just do a solo show this morning. And then I mentioned something to you, Rory, about the fact that Eric wasn't going to be around because I think I hinted at this with you, but I didn't really tell you all the details before, I think is what happened. And you're like, I'll jump on, dude. So boom, here we are. So I really appreciate you being here and jumping on with me as a last minute co-host more than normal this week. It's exciting. So welcome. Great to have you back here 3 days in a row. Whoa, why can't I hear you right now?
Oh, there we go. How about this?
That was great. I thought we were going to have a miming episode.
Yeah. I hit the mic, the mute button on my like the physical mute button on my mic for a second because Lacey and our oldest just got home, and I figured the dogs would go bananas, and no one wants to hear that. But yeah, man, happy to be here. Always happy to jump on. 9 o'clock is in the thick of my morning on most days.
That's right. You said, but not today.
Well, yeah, I mean, I started to tell you I slept in a little bit. I didn't want to get out of bed. And to be clear, like I was still up by 7. I just didn't feel like getting up at 5:30 today. But yeah, it's time to start the day early and get shit done.
That's right, dude. So you want to, well, what's your positive focus? What are you happy about today?
Yeah, man. Thank you. So this weekend, my youngest has a volleyball tournament, and anybody who's following me knows that she has them quite a bit. What y'all might not know is I don't really ever get to go. Lacey is the volleyball mom. She travels with the team. It's very few and far between that they have tournaments at home in the Tampa area. So the fact that this one's local, I get to go and I get to see my daughter play live and in person, which is kind of important for a couple reasons. One is, even though Lacey and I know how important her volleyball is to me, my youngest, she's 14. She actually had to ask her mom, like, why doesn't dad ever want to go? Doesn't he like watching me play? Doesn't he think I'm good enough? And I've never said anything like that, right? But it's amazing how the minds of people work when you don't talk out loud, I guess.
Dude, communication is so important.
Yep.
It is so important.
Yeah. In fact, sorry, Tellman, the last tournament she had, they took first place in the second bracket. And I watched the game. No, I know they did. They took first place. They won. It was a nail biter. It came down to like the last point in the last set. And I texted Reagan the minute it was over and said, I'm so proud of you. What a great game. And I actually said to her, like, I wish I got to see you play more in person. And she texted me back, thank you. I'm crying right now. So,
wow, dude. Yeah. Well, I guess you should start going to games.
Well, I'm going today, brother. Going today.
Right. That's right. That's awesome. So it's cool. Like growing up, I absolutely hated organized sports. I've never been into watching them. I've never been into playing them. And when I tried playing them, I always got laughed at. So it was like early childhood scarring, you know, from like being rejected from this team of like redneck jocks, you know, and I was just like, fuck these guys, you know, like, like I have no coordination. Your legs aren't bent around in circles, so screw you guys. But then I found distance running, but it's a solo. I mean, even it's a team sport, but it's a solo sport. You know what I mean? Like you're on your own and you're out there, you know, there's nobody to pass the ball to, you know, it's like, and so, my son Torger, he joined Ultimate Frisbee, and I know nothing about Ultimate Frisbee, and I like had a mental block against watching sports. I never liked it. And so after watching dozens of his Ultimate Frisbee games at this point, he's a senior now. He's about to graduate, so he's one more season left this spring, at least in high school. And I'm kind of getting into it now, which is cool. But it's interesting because Torger, he called me last night. I guess I should. I'm speaking about him publicly on video. He's 18. I feel like it's an invasion of privacy. Whatever. Anyway, so he called me last night, and he's like, Dad, I looked my name up online, and I was like, oh no, what did I do? You know, like, what did I say, or how did I make my son look bad? And he's like, and I saw something that I didn't realize, I wasn't expecting. And I was like, oh no, because he had like this like apprehensive tone in his voice, and he's like, something got published in the paper. I was like, what? He's like, honor roll. I'm high honors. I had no idea. So I was never high honors. So anyway, my son calls me last night because he was with his mom, and he's like super, super proud about it. And awesome. I was like, wow. So anyway, it's good to be present with these things, even if it's something that maybe you personally wouldn't be into or whatever. It's really good. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And it's funny too, dude. Like you mentioned that, like, so I was into sports, as a kid, and in middle school and high school, my dad was at almost every fucking game. You know, he was an entrepreneur, so for him that was a priority. Didn't matter what he was doing.
What kind of business did your dad have?
So this is really cool, dude. This is one for the ages.
I don't recall this story. Yeah,
I may never have told you. So my dad, I'm really proud of this. My dad invented what is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I'll jump ahead to a second. That's
a bold claim right there.
Well, it sure as fucking back it up. All right. So he invented a multi-billion-dollar industry that I will tell you about in a moment. What's both fascinating and frustrating is when I finally got the entrepreneurial bug later in life.
Yeah.
I asked him, like, how did you do it? How did you get, and he couldn't fucking explain it.
Right.
He doesn't know. He just went out and did. Which I always found fascinating. Like, what do you mean? How do you know? What do you mean you don't know what you did or how you did it? You just did, like, so anyway. So my dad's family was very, very big into nursing homes and respite care and such. And the idea, I believe, came from my grandmother, so his mom.
Yeah.
At the time, residents of nursing homes got their clothing by family members or staff who would go out and shop and bring them the clothes and be like, here you go. So my dad basically created a fashion show / shopping experience that brought, and this is the other thing, that brought specialized clothing into the nursing homes.
Wow.
And residents or patients to actually do the shopping themselves.
Right.
Absolutely revolutionized.
This is awesome.
It is. And what's fascinating is So my
Way
father
to get shit done, Dad. Is your dad alive or not alive?
he's alive.
What's his name?
Alan.
Alan. Well, way to go, Alan. If you ever watch this is brilliant.
My dad's a hustler, dude. Like,
awesome.
Yeah, there's lots I could say about my dad that I learned from entrepreneurial stuff, and what we started talking about with my dad showing up to every game, which is why I go to every game that I possibly can. So anyway, he at some point, I think we had 5 or 6 different trucks that would, take care of the Northeast and probably down to, I don't remember how far south he went. But yeah, my dad started an industry, didn't really have any business. I mean, I guess he had some business background, but long story short, he didn't build it to what it could have become. It was never a multi-million-dollar business for him, but it boomed into a multi-billion-dollar industry where other people took this idea and fucking blew it up.
That's cool, man. What immediately pops into my mind for some reason is, I've heard about these multi-level marketing, network marketing companies that it's not quite the same. The setup isn't quite the same, but where you go and you sell like dresses, women's fashion, and you'll have a bunch of women get together and they'll have a party and I'll try on various types of clothing, and then you either buy it on the spot or sometime or you order the size that fits you or whatever. And then of course there's often like similar wine related gatherings where you basically you have a wine party for all your friends, and the wine's so good that they want to buy the wine, and that's how you hook them into the MLM, right?
Dude, so that's funny you mentioned that. So we got hooked into a company called PRP International, although I don't think it was an MLM. But they would bring several wines into your house and do a wine tasting for people and then order, and it was so much fun. So fun.
Right. That's cool. So I'm imagining like a senior citizen retiree, like nursing home MLM. The problem is that like, who's going to buy the opportunity? Because it's not going to be it's not going to be the people who are buying the clothing. It's going to be, I guess, their kids maybe or something. I don't know. It's not, the duplication isn't quite there. It doesn't. Well,
not for an MLM, but I mean, certainly for a business, like I said, huge corporations do it now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, so dude, so a couple things, right? One is I wanted to talk about the value, the importance of spontaneity in business. And use today's episode as an example. So again, I was planning on flying solo if I didn't find a special guest for this morning, and you'd already been on twice this week. You have a commitment to doing just once in the week, right? And so I didn't want to, and you have kids and it's stuff to do and whatever, and so I appreciate you jumping on last minute and just making the time. And with that said, I jumped on this podcast a couple of weeks ago. As I mentioned, it was a comedy podcast with these really irreverent, like, Florida boys. And it was called Michael and Jeremy's Steal Your Podcast.
Yep.
And it was a podcast about hot sauce. And I thought I'd talk about hot sauce because salsa was my first business. And I asked them if I could talk about entrepreneurship and wealth hypnosis, and they're like, yeah, let's talk about it. And I got a bunch of getshitdone.com members as a result, right? And it opened me to a whole new world of speaking, of like amateur hour speaking in a way, like where like not the, just very different than the marketing crew, right? It's more entertainment oriented. And while I was doing that, one of the guys, I think Jeremy, was like, Tellman, you have a really interesting sounding voice. Have you ever considered voice acting? And I was like, no, I've definitely never considered voice acting. He's like, you'd probably be really good at it because, you have a very interesting sounding voice. And so I had never considered that, but I'm actually like considering trying voice acting and maybe like getting trained or something to get a deeper and more like meaningful, more purposeful training with my voice.
Yeah.
So it's just like a new direction of inspiration that came out of that one interview, and it got me some new subscribers and members. Right. So I encourage people to like get out there and talk about your stuff, right? And just open the doors. There's so much opportunity for it.
It's amazing, right? Like we get wrapped up in what we know,
right?
And we don't realize all the opportunity out there.
Tons.
I mean, we sort of talked about this a week or two ago, but for the longest time, Tellman, I always offered my services and or my business's services as an advertising agency. That was the offer.
Right.
And I remember, right before I hit it big, my mentor in the agency world was like, you need to come up with some other offers. And I was like, okay, well, I specialize in policy and compliance. So I'll put myself out there as the policy and compliance guy. And that was it, right? Like that was just agency. And, I've always known I should have my own info products and funnels and Ascension, this, that, and the other thing. But, that conversation I had with Kurt, the first one we had last week or the week before, when he told me about his $99 workshops, like just opened my eyes.
Yeah, and that's not a new idea. He's been working on that model for a while. He and I have talked about it a few times in the last year and a half.
Yep, exactly. It's not a new idea, but it was brand new and fresh to me. And I'm going,
no, right. I'm just saying it's working. I'm saying it's working for him for a while. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not just a flash in the pan idea that he had.
Oh yeah, no. I definitely know it's not, for sure. Thank you for that. But yeah, no, this was great. But the point is like, it just, that conversation aligned with a couple other conversations led to me just seeing opportunity everywhere. So I'm just connecting the dots that that's awesome that you put yourself out there. I put myself out there. You got to put yourself out there. You never know what's going to come of it.
What are you like when you say that you're now seeing opportunity everywhere? What do you actually mean by that in your life, from your perspective, with your business and your offers right now? Like what are the top 3 opportunities that you're seeing, right now, or something like that? Like what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I think, one thing is clearly I'm seeing different ways to package my expertise in a way that helps me stand out in a very, very crowded marketplace. If we go back to the fact that was an agency and it was agency services, there's nothing creative about a $5,000 a month retainer.
Right.
And when everybody is doing it, you don't stand out. You're nothing. So now having, $99 workshops, or for whatever the workshop model may be, like that's a newer way to get people into my world. And then we could expand on that, right? Like, Kurt is all about, I'll talk to anybody and everybody about this model and reveal everything because it's good karma. And then people are talking about me. And when people talk about me, I show up in the news. So there literally is just opportunity everywhere. We started talking about this probably a month ago. You encouraged me to start talking to people and having conversations.
Yeah.
Well, I'm no longer sitting alone by myself.
Yeah, that was a quick shift, wasn't it, for you?
Huge shift.
Interesting.
So the opportunities there is like, I'm talking to really high level people. I mean, I'm very blessed that I've been in this industry long enough that I know a lot of great people, a lot of high level people who will answer the phone for me, so to speak.
Right.
And where I'm going with this is that in previous conversations, I've talked to people who are like, Rory, you're not the only one struggling. You're not the only one struggling. Lots of people are struggling right now. And, I'm reaching out to people who, in my estimation, are out there fucking killing it. And when you get on the phone with these people that you have relationships with, and they're like,
no,
yeah, I'm not doing that great.
Right.
And you're like, really? You
of
all people? So like that also then leads to opportunity, because it's like, well, I think the world of you. You're a fucking rock star. And you're telling me you're not making money. And I know I'm a rock star and I'm rebuilding myself to make more money. We probably should have put our heads together and do something, because I mean, I'm gonna date myself, but fuck it. It's for the show. Like right now, a lot of people getting attention in our community
Yeah.
are these younger guys that come in and just are fucking shit up. And, you know,
Right.
a lot of the old guard, if you will, people don't know us. And I've told
Well,
you
I mean,
before.
that's the way the music industry works, right? Like it's
Yeah.
the same thing, because info marketing is about education for your long-term clients, but for like your email list, your audience, your following, your followers, your TikTok followers, your Facebook followers, your like that, those are all your fans, and
Yep.
they're being entertained more than they're being educated in most cases. So it's very much like the music industry, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, like it's absolutely amazing to now like reconnect with people that, you know, I first learned from,
Right.
admired, respected.
Right.
And now I can say to them, well, I think we should put our heads together. So right now I'm facilitating a conversation just like this with two other people that the three of us together could fuck shit up, like just absolutely fuck shit up.
Cool.
And it's just exciting. But I wouldn't have had that if I didn't reach out to people, because, you know, very few people put their shit out publicly on Facebook when things aren't going well.
Well, but people don't even share, like when, like the only time people put stuff on Facebook when things aren't going well is during tragedy.
Yeah.
And often there is an outpouring of emotional support, but a lot of it is like social signaling too, you know? Yeah. So it's like, even if there are good intentions behind it, there's I mean, long distance, how much real support can there be, you know, from somebody you don't really know that well? And so it's like, but then when people do put out, oh, things aren't going very well, it doesn't get shared. You know what I mean? That, you know, that stuff would go dead. And yeah, so it's an interesting thing. You know?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I'll give you two examples.
Great.
One very fresh. After I did the first Get Shit Done show with you when I was a guest,
yeah,
I had a very good friend of mine, super successful guy in the business. Young, somebody I met and was like, holy fuck, you make how much money? Like I'm fucking up my life, right?
Right.
We talked and he's like, Rory, I didn't want to tell you this, but we're on the phone. You need to take that episode down. You need to get that off the internet. He's like, it's not a good look that you're out there pouring your heart about how much you're struggling, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, I am who I am.
Right.
And when I am me is when shit happens. And that
right.
bridges to the next conversation.
Right. Well, that's the other part. Yeah.
Yeah. When you and I worked on the wealth method.
Yeah.
There was a point where you pulled me aside and were like, Rory, don't you think it's time you clean up your act on Facebook? Like, you got to be a little bit more professional. And I said to you, I was like, no.
I remember that. We had that conversation in Connecticut, I think, didn't we?
We did. We absolutely did.
At the B&B, I think.
we may have. Maybe. But which, by the way, talk about memories. We'll see if I remember to bring that back up. But I was like, no. I was like, I'm not cleaning myself up. And I had a feeling that may have been a problem for you, which I don't think it was. But what's fascinating is like, and even Lacey, by the way, Lacey at one point said that to me. That's my wife, you know, right. 25 years we've been together now. She said it. And I was like, no, I'm going to be who I am, unapologetically, unabashed. Like, and I literally get business from people who are like, Rory, I'm coming to you because I know that I can trust you with absolutely everything and you will not bullshit me.
Right.
And that's what I want.
Well, see, that's the thing is there are aspects. It's interesting because there are aspects of ourselves and our personality that we can lean into that will definitely resonate and attract certain types of people. And there's both a like attracts like effect, and there's an opposites attract effect at the same time. I mean, that's part of the whole polarizing aspect of leaning into who you are. But the thing is, the trick is to do it authentically, so you're not just pumping yourself up or just like fanning the flame on like superficial part of yourself.
Yep.
You know, that's the trick. Yeah. So dude, so check it out. So one of the things I was thinking about is to talk about here today on the show, now that we're like halfway through the episode, was I was thinking about talking. Well, actually, two things. I'm gonna give you a great get shit done early stage case study of myself.
Nice.
And then I want to talk about if there are any. I wanted to have an open brainstorm about how you and I, if it makes sense, can grow one or both of our businesses together, like how we can help each other make more money than we are right now, because right now we're not actively making any money together, right?
Nope.
And so and I've had some thoughts on that, but I would like to explore some possibilities with you and see where the conversation goes.
Fuck yeah.
Like if as close to what it would be like just to be on the phone and not broadcasting as possible. You know?
Sure, man. Yeah.
But so little exercise in human psychology, ladies and gentlemen. I think this actually came up a day or two ago in one of the episodes with you, Rory. Did we talk about the 4-day cash machine?
We did. We mentioned Frank.
I think you mentioned the 4-day cash machine.
Yes, sir.
Well, it like sparked a little spark in my head. And I was like, I haven't run a 4-day cash machine in a long time. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. When I launched the Work with Tellman Name Your Own Price hypnosis sessions, I launched that in November, and I didn't originally intend to do it for Veterans Day, but it was around Veterans Day, and so I did a 4-day offer because it was 4 days before Veterans Day for private hypnosis sessions and name your own price, and I sold a crap load of them. And then in January, around Christmas / New Year's, I ran it again. Another special, a limited time special. I sold a crap load of them. Got a bunch of private clients. In between, I tried offering it a little bit here and there, but nobody bought.
Yeah.
Because there was the sale's going to end. And then on my birthday, January 18th, I ran another few day special. I sold a bunch, not as many, but a bunch. And since then, I've decided to leave it open.
Yeah.
And I've been telling people about it in my emails. I've been telling people about it on the Get Shit Done show every day. And it's a slow trickle of new paying clients. And many of them are very low paying. I'm like, what's going on here? And so you mentioned 4-day cash machine. And so I was like, I'm going to do a 4-day cash machine on my private hypnosis sessions. And then I'm going to take the offer down. And so yesterday, halfway through the day, I used the original 4-day cash machine templates because I had them in my email, and I wrote up an email without even changing the sales page yet. I wrote up an email adding 5 bonuses that are all bonus hypnosis sessions.
Nice.
There are 4 bonus hypnosis sessions that are all money mindset oriented. There's Success Loves Speed. There's the Millionaire session. There's the Hypnotize Yourself Wealthy. You also get my book, All Hypnosis is Self-Hypnosis. And then there's one more. And but I just said about those in the email. And I sent the email out yesterday with a 4-day time limit. So I added the bonuses, added the scarcity, got a whole bunch of sales out of nowhere, right? Just, so it makes me so mad. It pisses me off so much that people respond to such things. Still to this day, it's just I have such hope for humanity that like people, but these are like the basic psychological triggers that people respond to, and I'm just adding value to the offer. You know what I mean? It's not it's not like these are all awesome sessions that I've recorded that are great benefits, but it's just like, why won't people act for themselves when they need something instead of needing this outside force to drive people forward? And so often people need these things to like get them to take action.
They do. They do.
So anyway, Kern came out with the 4-day cash machine years ago. I've run it many times over the years. It's always been successful to different levels. Nobody does it anymore, ever. And the template emails still work, for the record.
Yeah. What's funny, I want to come back and learn a little bit more about your offer and whatnot, if there's anything to talk about there. But
well,
I also
you know what I'll say? I'll say it right now is, guys, if you want to sign up to one of those sessions.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You have between now and Sunday night at midnight, and you get those 5 bonuses that I verbalized. They're not on the sales page yet. I'm going to put them on there later today. You can go to workwithtellman.com, but in 4 days, I guess 3 days, I'm going to take this down. Probably not permanently, but definitely indefinitely. So you won't be able to just definitely indefinitely. So you won't be able to, you won't be like after Sunday night, you're not going to be able to just go and sign up for a session whenever you want to. It's going to take a special situation. So workwithtellman.com.
Yeah, I want to go over this real quick, and then we'll go to my story in a minute, because this is more pressing. So the 4-day cash machine is usually a substantial discount off the regular price. Right. Yours is still name your own price. Impressive.
Yeah. So, I mean, name your own. It's kind of, so the thing about name your own price is it's kind of hard to beat it, but at the same time, it actually reduces conversion. And I think the reason that it reduces conversion is because it's actually a really big thing people have to think about, and then they have to make a commitment to it. And then they have to put in their credit card information. And so it's a big decision to make. And the number one objection that I have to the name your own price offer is I don't want to offend you. Yep. I know your time is valuable. I'm going to choose not to improve my life and completely change everything for myself because I don't want to offend you is the objection. It's such a BS objection, but it is the number one objection that people have.
What makes you say it's a BS objection?
I don't think that anyone's worried about offending me. The whole point of the offer is name your own price and pay what it's worth to you. The secondary objection is it's worth so much more than I can pay you. I'm going to have to wait to do it until I have more money, which again, it's like, no, when there's an amazing opportunity put in front of you that can help to move you forward, move forward. Right.
Yeah, but we're not wired that I'm going to speak for people like that. Cause I've seen name your price offers and I won't do them. I just looked at your offer right now and we'll talk about that in a second. And I was like, ooh, no, I can't do this. It's real, dude. Like, we talk about, you were just saying a minute ago, people need this external pressure to take care of themselves and to do better, right? And that's ultimately what we're doing with something like a 4-day cash machine, is that we're tapping into what we know about buyer psychology and human behavior. Right. And let's be clear, people use it for good, people use it for bad. Tellman and I are talking about using it for good, not taking advantage of people, but giving them permission to get involved. When I see a name your own price, and again, I'm talking as a consumer here.
Yeah.
I don't see that as an invitation to come in and truly pay what I think it's worth. What happens in my mind is, like, I look at that stuff and go, well, I'm not going to take advantage of anyone. That's for sure. Like me, I won't take advantage of anyone. I won't put like $1, $2, $5. That's not just an insult to them, which, yeah, I think that would be an insult to you, Tellman, if I put $5 in and then I'd try to show up for the session and think, what does he think about me only offering $5? Blah, blah. Is he going to give me his best? Is it going to be my worth? I think I first learned about name your own price probably from Justin Brook, but who was really standing out for me is Nick Kuzmich. And I think you and I had talked about Nick Kuzmich doing it. Like,
I don't recall that, but maybe.
Okay. But anyway, Nick Kuzmich, very, very early on in Facebook advertising, positioned himself as elite. Like, if you wanted to work with him, you had to be in the top 1%. Okay. People were doing free webinars and Nick is charging $500. Right. So then he introduces a name your own price, and it's like, well, I can only afford $5 right now.
Right.
My bank account only has a couple $100s in it. Like,
right.
And I wouldn't do it. So I think, people don't know to see it as, no, I'm really lowering my price so you can get in the door and get shit done and take action. You and I might think that as the marketer, but the consumer, What's the catch? What's the trick?
It's interesting because most people that put in a very low price, there was only 1 or 2 people that put in $0. There's a few people that have put in $1. And most people that do under $20 don't show up.
Okay.
Because I think they're just like testing it out to see what the catch is or whatever.
Yeah.
And because the people that do the super low amount very rarely take any of the upsells, right?
Yep.
Though there aren't too many people that do that super low amount. There are a fair number of people that do. So what I've found so far is that the average order value or the average amount of a session right now, I think is like $71 and change.
Well, that's good.
Though a bunch of people have paid $300-$400. But often the people that pay $300 or $400 will take all the upsells.
Yep.
You know, and so I'll end up with like close to $1,000 transaction value when all is said and done. You know, so it's like, oh well, sweet. But it's very interesting. So anyway, I'm doing name your own price for I've been doing it for a while. I'll probably do it again, but I'm gonna take it down after 4 days because doing kind of like telling people about it slowly and steadily. It's kind of like it makes more sense to sell a digital program on the front end for a lower cost, I think, or at least to have multiple offers in the hopper, you know.
I think so the marketer in me is now coming out, Tellman, and so I looked at the page the minute you said work with Tellman. I wanted to see what you were doing with the 4-day cash machine.
Yeah.
Even though you said you hadn't updated the sales letter, I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And I noticed that it says normally $500 under the pay what you want, which is awesome. You need to have some anchoring. I was excited to see that. It makes me wonder, number one, how would conversions go if you put a range? You know, most people pay between such and such and such and such,
right?
Or even, you know, the average is right. Like, so let's say you put the average is 71, would you then lose the $300 or $400 buyers? Or, you know, but then the other thing, this is going now old school back to one shopping cart, checkout pages.
Right.
You know, could you put a small little video? Hey, it's Tellman, and I just want to let you know this truly is a name your own price. This is an opportunity for you to get help. There's not a catch. You can't pay me too little and insult me because I'm the one.
Right. Just address those in their own language. So there is a video at the top of the page. Obviously you didn't watch it because we're in the middle of a live stream here, but there is a video that explains that. But it was the first take, and I hadn't directly dealt with that objection a bunch of times when I recorded.
Yeah, no, I would have that objection video right at the bottom, because remember, people are going to see your video, they're going to get amped up, and that's another thing. And I talk about this with advertisers all the time who are like, Rory, what's the best video script? Well, the best video script is no video script. You need to assume that no one's watching your video.
Right.
And sidebar, that's why I don't like video ads, because you have no control over how much the user watches. Right. So as a direct response marketer, how do I know how to optimize the video if certain people jump and take action at it's a logistical nightmare. It's a law of averages. Yeah. So for you, I would just say right there, you know, or even
this is a Sam Cart checkout page with a video embedded up at the top. And so what I need to be doing is running from a longer form sales page with a video that goes into more detail with a bunch of video testimonials on the page. Like there's a whole crap load of stuff that I can do to improve this, right? But
you and I are also talking about lowest hanging fruit, right? Let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's not make a mountain out of a molehill. Yeah. And you bring up Sam Cart checkout page, so maybe you can't embed a video. But let's go old school Tellman. Can we have an exit pop on the checkup form that's like, hey, wait.
No. I need to tune it into a better funnel, I think. And what you're saying though about the objections, like I could have a list of the common objections in the emails that I'm sending out, like in the PS of the emails, so there are different places that I can cover that. But either way, dude, what are your thoughts on ways that you and I could make more money together, either with you somehow being involved with running ads for me, or with you teaching me how to run ads, or with us creating or launching an existing product together, kind of as a additional kind of, you almost like you acting like a publisher kind of a thing, like maybe anyway, do you have any thoughts that spring to mind on opportunities that you see where we could bring our skills together in order to help one or both of us grow?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, that's easy. And we have talked about this before. So, the first thing that comes to mind is, hell yeah. And we can figure out the rest from there, which we're kind of doing right now.
Yeah.
Whenever we've done stuff together, we've made money. I flat out told you the other day, I think we should bring back the wealth method.
Yeah. I'm actively selling it at a very good deal for people who buy private hypnosis session.
Yeah, at a ridiculous deal compared to what we used to sell for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think we should be reselling let's go back and do those webinars. What were they? Twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think. Or maybe it was once a week and we changed it, but we had some pretty good months with that. I don't know what the back end would look like in terms of that, but that's a good start. Was it $1,000 product at one point?
Yeah, there are a few options with that, right? You could sell the wealth method at $1,000, from a webinar. We could sell it or something similar with an automatic client style or a low ticket front end offer. Yep. And then back end in one or both cases can be group coaching and or to some degree private coaching, but that's going to get limited or very expensive, if we have enough volume for it.
Yeah.
So I'm currently relaunching the Overcome Everything Coaching Club, which I did for several years, where we did a weekly group hypnosis session for entrepreneurs where the members would help to vote on and ask for what topics they wanted that week's session to be. We do it all together on Zoom and then add it to the library afterward. And so that's the current kind of larger group coaching that I'm reopening the doors to actively right now to people who become private clients and work with one of the sessions from workwithtellman.com. Offering the group coaching program is something we've just started doing again after it's been closed. The doors have been closed to that for a few years. And there's over 80 awesome sessions loaded up into the library for that when people join. So that's a back end that currently exists.
Yeah.
Another back end, I mean, that would, if we wanted to do it again, we could. I don't really want to do it again, but like the Wealth Hypnosis Weekend, E3 is a $5,000 back end, and maybe we do Wealth Hypnosis Weekend virtual.
Yeah. Well, here's my one rule, and we're circling back to something I said we might talk about if I remember. And my one rule is they won't be in Connecticut. They just can't be in Connecticut. But so the reason I thought about that is who was it the other day? Someone talked about having experience setting up workshops, and I was like, that'd be really cool if oh, wait a minute, I did do that. That was a fun trip down memory lane, like revisiting those trips to was it Glastonbury?
Yeah,
and
Glastonbury, Connecticut, rented out that awesome bed and breakfast. Yep.
Yeah, that beautiful property. Oh God, now I'm starting to think about the omelets she used to make us in the morning. My God.
Yeah, she was good at making those omelets, right? Like she was just like a machine.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely do that. Another thing that I know is tried and true and something that you absolutely love is we put together a banger of a perpetual marketing machine event. Just do a good old school interview series.
Yep. And so interestingly, Harris and I were talking about that a lot, right?
Yep.
And that was kind of a big part of the thrust with the Tellman and Tellman show, and then Automatic Audience that we created that bombed when we launched it. And one of the things that I've been looking at, we have the Get Shit Done show, and we have getshitdone.com, and we have the Get Shit Done session. And so the same backends that I just mentioned for wealth hypnosis are the same backends for Get Shit Done, right? But it's basically weekly mindset stuff, right? And Get Shit Done has some more structure with work parties and things like this. But Get Shit Done is kind of like a branded version of hypnosis, really. It's productivity hypnosis. And so we could do any of these things around wealth hypnosis. We could do any of these things around productivity, or both. And we could do a summit, and it might, and essentially I've been looking at how to do a summit within school, right? So it's pretty simple. You start a brand new school group, you make it free, and then you do your scheduled webinars inside the school calendar. That's it, right? Like at the end of the day, that's the model. And so so you could totally do it, and you could do a compressed summit in 3 days, or you could do or however many days, or you could do a longer multi-week summit. You could also do a hybrid where you do 3 days and then you do a follow-up multi-week, right? So yeah, summits are an option, but they're a shit ton of work, as you know. And so, but hey, maybe we should do the Get Shit Done summit. Another thing that I've been considering, though I put some feelers out there and there wasn't a lot of like action the first time I threw it out to the audience, is a Get Shit Done challenge, like a low cost paid challenge, 7 days, whatever. 7 days of Get Shit Done, 7 days of work parties, 7 days of education, or a Get Shit Done sprint, like an 8-week sprint. When I put it out there to the community and the list, it was like crickets. People really didn't like the idea of working hard for 8 weeks. So that was interesting. Do any of those pop with you, or is there anything in particular that catches your interest on this?
All of them, dude. All of them. I think we need to devote some time to just looking into them and making it happen. The challenge. So recently I had this idea. You may have seen, I posted on Facebook earlier this week. I had somebody ask me, am I really just one ad away from a 6-figure business? And I said, you absolutely are. You without a doubt. You
absolutely are.
You absolutely are. Now,
absolutely are.
All right, off to Google or GoDaddy. I am. So for the first time ever, I was like, that's it. I'm going to do a 1 ad away challenge. And so I'm very, very open to a challenge right now. And one thing I love about challenges, and I'm trying to think where I learned this. It may have been at publishing. Go ahead.
Wired for Wealth, the Wired for Wealth challenge. That's
okay.
I haven't heard anyone talk about Wired for Wealth. Maybe, but
let's see if I can buy this domain right now. Wired for Wealth. Oh, 10,000.
There's a book. There's a book. All right, maybe I should read this book.
Yeah, but anyway,
Vernty.
Yeah. So I learned this. Probably learned this a while ago, but really saw it in action when I was working as the paid media manager for publishing.com.
Yeah.
The first thing that they had me do as an employee, the same thing they have all of their clients do, is they run you through a 7-day challenge. And the whole purpose of the 7-day challenge is to get your first book published on Amazon within 7 days.
Cool.
And it's not intended to be
do that with their employees.
Yeah,
that's so cool. All right, I like that.
And I wrote a book and I published it.
What's the book?
What was this one? I think it was it ADHD myths?
Okay. So that way
Everything.
everybody in the company is like on board that the process works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And
So
and
that,
and
like
so
they're
and
talking to their friends, they're talking to their family, they're talking to customers, they're talking to each other. Everybody has a book.
Yep. And so the point behind it, obviously is get the quick win, is if you're investing in a multi-$1,000 program
Right.
and it's a slow burn, right? Because becoming a publisher where you outline books and hire ghostwriters and that takes a while. And
Right.
to get the money really rolling in, it takes a little while. So
Yeah.
what
Unless you have like a magical situation lined up ahead of time.
right,
Yep.
right. So the point being is they wanted, and I don't think I'm talking out of turn because this is this is like, marketing 101 and human
Yeah.
behavior 101 is it's like you get somebody a quick win and they're even more invested in themselves because they've gotten over the excuses. So I
Right.
love the idea of a challenge that is now focused on let's get you a quick win. Let's show you what is really possible
Right.
when you believe in yourself and take action. And oh yeah, by the way, here's something else that's going to help you get even more action. Here's my program.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
I'd love to do it.
Cool. So yeah, I guess we should just we were talking about talking this weekend. Do you want to schedule in a time?
That I can't commit to right now, just because with my daughter's volleyball tournament this weekend, I may be going to more games and I don't know what the schedule is like.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly certain that I'll be doing the Get Shit Show Done with you tomorrow and Sunday. I haven't told you that yet, but if you want me to host on Saturday and Sunday, I'm pretty certain I can. And by then I'll be able to say, yes, I can do this time to get on
Definitely Saturday, and normally I have Curtis on Sunday.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
So yeah, Sunday's covered. But maybe yeah, so between the Get Shit Done show and then yeah, if we have time to talk offline, that'd be great. Awesome. And we've been going for almost an hour. It's almost 10 o'clock. Rory, you want to do a little commercial break?
Yeah, I'm not ready for this. You put me on the spot.
That is the whole point, Rory.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm getting there. So guys, if you want to learn how to create better ads that attract your ideal customers and tap into their subconscious, go to brutallyhonestadreviews.com/GSD. You sign up for my free daily email newsletter. And honestly, I think one of the biggest hooks right now is if you're one of those people who thinks you have to test hundreds of ads and hundreds of hooks and hundreds of headlines, I'm going to show you every single day exactly why you don't have to do that and how to test no more than 1 to 2 at a time and create headlines and ads that absolutely fucking crush.
Nice, dude.
brutallyhonestadreviews.com/GSD. Get shit done.
That's right, guys. Go join Rory's list at brutallyhonestadreviews.com/GSD. You know what that stands for. And learn how to write better ads. Learn how to create amazing ads. I mean, it'll serve you for the rest of your life. Seriously.
That's great.
Very, very cool. All right, we're about to wrap things up. I have 2 other things for you to do if you haven't done so already. If you're not already a member at getshitdone.com, go to getshitdone.com and join the cult of productivity at getshitdone.com. We're going to train you to get shit done like you never have before in your life. Getshitdone.com. And if you want personal attention, if you want to schedule in a private hypnosis session with me to help really dig in to where you're procrastinating, where you're not getting the shit done that you know you should be getting done, you're wanting to get out of your rut, break through the financial glass ceiling, and take things to the next level, you have 3 days left to do it. And then I'm taking the offer down at www.workwithtellman.com. It's a pay what you want, name your own price, pay what it's worth to you offer. You decide the price. You decide the investment you're going to take in yourself.
Yeah. And I'm not just a co-host. I'm a client. I've done hypnosis with Tellman. The shit is life-changing. So y'all should definitely take him up on it.
Awesome.
No doubt about it.
Thank you, Rory. I appreciate that.
My pleasure, Tellman.
Cool. All right. Well, you know what time it is, Rory?
Time to get shit done.
It's time to get shit done. All right, guys. This has been episode 66 in the can. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for episode 67. Sounds like Rory will be with us. And
all right. By the way, so if tomorrow is 67, do you need me on Monday?
I do.
I need to be there for Monday.
All right. All right.
That's a pinnacle episode that we'll have to play up. But yeah, I'm there.
Think about if there's somebody we should have on as a special guest.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. I'll just let that sit with you. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Have a great day.